Welcome everybody to Love of the Game. I'm Adam Fothery. I'm here with Hunter Shelton, and we are 1 day away from the 2020 NFL Draft. We are so excited, and today we are here to kick off our mock draft. With the first pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, I have the Cincinnati Bengals selecting Joe Burrow, quarterback out of LSU. Joe Burrow was an excellent playmaker this season. I think he has great footwork. I think he has to kind of figure out his pocket pressure a little bit more. He has a great arm. He is a born winner. He's won everywhere he's gone, and I think he's the clear number one overall pick. Hunter, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's the unanimous number one pick. I don't think there's anything else that's going to happen. It's obvious, and there's not a whole lot to say about it, to be honest. All right, with the number 2 pick, we got Chase Young going to the Washington Redskins. He's an edge rusher out of Ohio State. I think he's looked fantastic all year. I think this is another unanimous pick as far as if the Redskins don't take Chase Young, they're dumb because Chase Young is the next big thing on the edge, and the edge rush is basically the second most important position on the field outside of quarterback.
I agree. I think when you're looking at the overall prospect he is, I think he's the best prospect in the draft. I just think Joe Burrow plays a more important position. I think this is the best player. I think this guy could be wearing a gold jacket by the end of his career. I think he's going to have a great young career with the Washington Redskins. With the third pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jeffrey Okudah, cornerback out of Ohio State. Jeffrey Okudah is by far the best defensive back in this class. The Lions desperately need cornerback help as they were number 28th against the pass last season. I think this is a great ball player. A lot of people knock him for not getting a lot of interceptions. I think it's because he's just a pure shutdown corner who doesn't get thrown to. Hunter?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's hard to bump your stats whenever you're not getting thrown to, but I think that's a compliment to the player, and I think the Lions are going to get a great player in Okudah. With the 4th pick, the New York Giants are going to select Tristan Wirfs, tackle out of Iowa. Now, Tristan Wirfs is the best offensive line prospect in this draft, and man, he's one of the best that I've seen in a while. This dude is powerful, he's fast, he's got all the tools you need as an NFL lineman, and I think the Giants are going to be able to have him on their team for a long time and have a solid anchor to that offensive line, finally.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tristan Wirfs, while having all those measurables, he's also insanely fast. He can, get to the edge on an outside zone run play, but he can also anchor down, and, he can be your tackle for a lot of years to come and keep Daniel Jones protected. With the 5th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback out of Alabama. I think Tua has a great potential in this league. He's got the arm strength. He's got great footwork. He just kind of needs to figure out what to do with it. He has a really good quick release. I think he definitely is going to need some development, but also the hip injury is a major concern. Hunter, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's a big risk because I really don't like the fact that it's his hip that's so bad, and he failed 2 physicals from 2 different teams. Hip injuries are hard to come back from and hard to keep healthy, so I think it's a really risky pick, but I think he has a ton of potential. With the 6th pick, I have the Chargers taking Justin Herbert, quarterback out of Oregon. Now, Justin Herbert is a fantastic prospect for a Chargers team who's still looking for their starting quarterback, and man, I think Justin Herbert can be the second best quarterback in this draft simply because he's healthy, he's got a fantastic arm, he's got a great release. I think he's got a ton of skills that can really push him to the next level, and I think he has a ton of potential with a little bit of development to really skyrocket from where he is right now.
I agree. I think Justin Herbert could easily be the number 2 quarterback, and I think that's why you take him here at number 6 overall. You saw what he did at Oregon. He was able to turn around Oregon's program and really lead them back into winning the Rose Bowl last year, so who's to say he can't turn it around in the NFL and maybe take these Chargers to the next level? It's going to be really fun to see how Justin Herbert's career plays out. With the 7th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, I have the Carolina Panthers selecting Isaiah Simmons, safety / linebacker out of the University of Clemson. Isaiah Simmons is such a versatile defender, able to play almost every single position on the defense. He is insanely talented. You can play him anywhere you need. He can do everything well. He's fast. He's quick. He's strong. He's great against the pass. He's great against the run. He can come off the edge. There's just nothing this kid can't do. Hunter?
Yeah, honestly, the man, the myth, the legend of this draft. This dude had a fantastic combine. Played great throughout the college football playoff. I mean, this guy's the limit. This kid's a little bit of a wild card because you really don't know how good he can be, but I think he can be one of the best defenders in the league. All right, with the 8th pick, I got the Cardinals taking Mekhi Becton, tackle, out of Louisville. This dude is the number 2 offensive lineman in my book in the draft. I think he's close to Tristan Wirfs, not quite there, but man, he shows some fantastic skills on film, and I think he can do really good things with an offense to back him up.
Mekhi Becton is a great fit for the Arizona Cardinals because the Arizona Cardinals have been last in the league in terms of protecting their quarterback. They've had the most sacks allowed for the past 2 years. I think they have a young guy in Kyler Murray. They have DeAndre Hopkins. I think you get a tackle to solidify that offensive line, and the Cardinals could be a scary team with this pick moving forward. With the 9th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Derrick Brown out of Auburn. Derrick Brown is an insanely versatile defender. He can play every single position along the defensive line. He can come off the edge, but he's most strong in the interior. He's got good pass rush moves. He can bull rush. He is the anchor of that defense. I think he is by far one of the best players in this draft, and I think he's really going to be scary on that Jacksonville defensive line to go along with Josh Allen.
Yeah, this is an absolute steal at the 9th pick. I mean, Derrick Brown can truly be a game changer. He has that potential. He had a so-so combine, a not good combine, but his film speaks differently, so we're going to have to see how he does. With the 10th pick, I got the Browns taking Andrew Thomas, tackle out of Georgia. The Browns have got to find an anchor on that offensive line since losing Joe Thomas, and why not go grab another Thomas? I mean, this dude can truly protect Baker Mayfield, help out their running game that has been really good last year and the year before, I think. And they need somebody there to anchor them down and really give Baker Mayfield that confidence.
I agree. I think, like you said, from one Thomas to the next, certainly he's going to have massive shoes to fill going forward. But they also just signed Jack Conklin, so I don't think he is going to have to be the sole reliance of that Cleveland Browns offensive line. So I think this is a great fit for them and Baker Mayfield and keeping him upright and seeing if this team can turn it around. With the next pick, I have the New York Jets at pick number 11 selecting Jedrick Wills Jr., tackle out of Alabama. I think Jedrick Wills could actually be one of the best tackles in this draft, possibly even better than Mekhi Becton and Andrew Thomas, but he plays the right tackle position. I think this is a great person to help keep Sam Darnold upright. I think it's going to allow him to maybe make some reads he hasn't had enough time to read before. Hunter, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. It's a very common theme here to have young linemen protecting your young quarterbacks. Let them have that bond throughout their careers and try to keep both guys there on your team. I think it's a great idea to go grab a great tackle to really protect your young quarterback.
100% agreed. So who do you have with the 12th pick?
At the 12th pick, I got the Raiders taking CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver out of Oklahoma. CeeDee Lamb has been regarded as possibly the best wide receiver in this class. He's got fantastic speed, fantastic hands. He's just a great all-around wide receiver, and I am honestly excited to see what he does at the next level because I think he has a ton of potential, and the Raiders need so much help at wide receiver.
CeeDee Lamb is one of the most explosive players in the draft. He can go up and catch any ball. He has an insane catch radius, and I think he's a great fit for John Gruden, who I feel like they've really been missing that red zone piece in their offense. They need somebody who can go ahead and finish drives. However, I don't know. I think CeeDee Lamb is a better fit for the Raiders, but I don't think he's necessarily the best wide receiver. And actually, at the number 13 pick, I have the San Francisco 49ers selecting Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver out of Alabama, who I believe is the best receiver in this draft. And I feel like he's an even better fit for San Francisco. I think that Jerry Jeudy has almost elite route running already. He has great quickness. He comes out of his breaks quick. He's able to flash his hands. he's going to be able to do so much in Kyle Shanahan's offense, and I think there's going to be some really cool plays going forward with him. And I think he's going to take that San Francisco 49ers offense to the complete next level.
Yeah, absolutely. The 49ers have got to have that number one wide receiver, and I think Jerry Jeudy brings that to the table, and I think that's going to fix some of their offensive problems and help out Jimmy G a lot.
Agreed.
With the 14th pick, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking C.J. Henderson, cornerback out of Florida. I think Henderson has great playmaking ability, and I think he's going to be great for the Buccaneers, who have been terrible in the passing game. I think he's the next best cornerback for the Buccaneers to pick.
I agree. I think this is a great pick for the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers, their biggest weakness is the cornerback position, as they were 32nd in the NFL in passing defense, and I think C.J. Henderson is a great person to help fit this defense because he's a great zone defender who can come downhill quickly and make a play. I'd love to see what this defense can do with other talented pieces such as Devin White and Dominican Sue and Jason Pierre-Paul. With the 15th pick, the Denver Broncos are going to select Henry Ruggs, wide receiver out of Alabama. Henry Ruggs is an elite speed talent. He can also go up and catch the ball. I think the Denver Broncos have Courtland Sutton, but having Henry Ruggs on the other side would really take this offense and help develop Drew Lock in the best way possible.
Yeah, I agree. They're in the same division as the Chiefs. They have got to figure out how to mimic that Tyreek Hill factor of being able to provide that deep threat. Courtland Sutton can go up and catch balls, but he's not going to outrun those safeties. Henry Ruggs provides you that. It forces the defense to help over the top, and now you have seal coverage on Courtland Sutton, and you can let Drew Lock really air out that arm and get it up there to Ruggs. I think it's exactly what that offense needs. With the 16th pick, I have the Falcons taking Javon Kinlaw, interior defensive lineman from South Carolina. This dude is a monster pass rusher, and I think that's exactly what the Falcons need so that they can take some pressure off their defensive backs and really help that defense overall. He's got great size, great speed. I think he's a great addition to that defense.
Agreed. I think the Atlanta Falcons have one of the best offenses in the NFL, and what's been holding them back is their defense. You have Grady Jarrett on the inside already, but I think giving you Javon Kinlaw allows you to take some pressure off of him, and this defensive front just got a lot scarier. Speaking of defenses, I think the Dallas Cowboys have a big need at cornerback. So with the 17th overall pick, I have them taking Christian Fulton, cornerback out of LSU. I think this is a great pick. I think Fulton played a lot of man-to-man, which the Cowboys like to play. I think they really need that after losing Byron Jones in free agency to keep this team playing at an elite level.
Yeah, I agree. I think that kid is absolutely nails. He's going to be fantastic for that Cowboys defense that just lost Byron Jones. It's going to be really a great addition to that defense. And at pick 18, the Dolphins are going to continue picking away from this deep defensive back pool with Grant Delpit, safety from LSU. This dude is a monster on the field. He constantly makes plays, and he can play fast and hard. I mean, nothing but great things to say about his athleticism and the way he plays the game.
I agree. I think Grant Delpit is going to be a special player. I think he's fallen probably a little bit too far in this draft, but I think he has great ball skills. He has great ability to track the ball over his shoulder. He holds up well in man. I cannot wait to see what he does in Miami with Brian Flores. Now, with the number 19th overall pick, the Oakland Raiders, I think, will select Jordan Love. Jordan Love needs a lot of development, but I think John Gruden wants to have his quarterback that he's able to groom from the start. They're paying Derek Carr way too much money. I think they really want to start to get the guy that they think could be a major contributor later on in years down the road.
Yeah, I think Derek Carr is all but out in Las Vegas. I think Jordan Love has a great arm strength, fantastic athleticism. I think he needs a ton of improvement and development, but he has the potential to be great, and John Gruden can groom him the way he likes, and I think that's all John Gruden wants. With the 20th pick, I got the Jaguars taking Trayvon Diggs, cornerback out of Alabama. Stephon Diggs' brother, so you know he's got crazy athleticism. He's been fantastic for the Crimson Tide. Obviously, that defense is always nails, so a defender on that defense is going to be a good pick. But this dude his athleticism speaks for itself. He can run step for step with any wide receiver he's matched up against.
I agree. I think he also is in a similar scheme fit at Alabama. They like to run a lot of zone with their corners, and I think he's going to do just that in Jacksonville with head coach Doug Marrone, just like they did with Jalen Ramsey, and hopefully they have the next Jalen Ramsey here in this pick. Now, next I have the Philadelphia Eagles. They lost Malcolm Jenkins this season, so I think you go and get the next Malcolm Jenkins and Xavier McKinney, safety out of Alabama. 2 Alabama defensive backs off the board here early in the first round. I think McKinney has great instincts against the run. I think his tackling has to improve a little bit. He's really good in coverage, and I think that this is a great fit for a team that really didn't get it done on the defensive side of the ball last season.
Yeah, the defensive back depth in this draft is absolutely insane because Xavier McKinney can be argued as one of the best safeties in this draft, although he's not taken highest. He is a playmaker, and he can absolutely help that Eagles defense stay or get near the top in the league. All right, with the 22nd pick, I got the Vikings taking Josh Jones, tackle out of Houston. This dude has a ton of potential, and the Vikings have got to give Kirk Cousins some time. They have great skill positions. That offense is explosive, but they have got to be able to give Kirk Cousins some time and improve that offensive line.
I 100% agree. I think Kirk Cousins, you looked at his best years with the Redskins. That was when he had Trent Williams at left tackle. The Vikings offensive line isn't anywhere near that. Okay, he's got weapons in Adam Thielen. He's got Kyle Rudolph. He's got Dalvin Cook in the run game. The one thing he hasn't had is an offensive line to protect him. The Vikings did beat the Saints last year in the playoffs. This is a very talented team. If they can get the offensive line right, I think there's nothing holding them back in the NFL. Now, another team that's very interesting this year is the New England Patriots. Obviously, they lost Tom Brady, but with most of the top quarterbacks off the board, I think they do go edge defender after losing Jamie Collins this year. I think with the 23rd pick, they go A.J. Epinesa, edge defender out of Iowa. Bill Belichick has talked about how he likes guys with size over speed on the edge, and I think A.J. Epinesa fits that perfectly. He's a 4'3" defensive end out of Iowa. He has great hands. He's still fast. He's very big. He's able to play very well against the run. I think this is a great person to help keep that New England defense exactly where it needs to be, which is number 1.
Yeah, that New England defense has got to start rebuilding that front seven after so many losses, so I think that's a great place to start. With the 24th pick, I got the Saints taking A.J. Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson. Now, he got beat up a little bit in the national championship game, but this dude has a ton of potential, and he is on an island. That's what Clemson loves to do. They let him take over his own receiver, and he's not going to lose most of the time.
Exactly, I agree. Like you said, he had a little bit of trouble in the national championship, but otherwise all year long, he was shut down. Now, he's got to get better. He can't get faked out by double moves quite so much, but I think the New Orleans Saints need a cornerback. They were 31st in the NFL in passing defense, and I think that's the one position that's holding this team back from going to the Super Bowl and winning it all. So if A.J. Terrell goes to the Saints, I think there is no way that they lose the Super Bowl this year. Now, with the next pick, I have the Minnesota Vikings. They have already addressed offensive tackle with Josh Jones. They go out and they get the next Stephon Diggs. They go get Denzel Mims, wide receiver out of Baylor. I think Mims shows a lot of playmaking ability. He's a speedster, too. He will beat you over the top, and he's going to replace what Stephon Diggs did for that Minnesota team.
Yeah, this is a dude that you don't see come out of the draft very often. He is big and he is fast. He is deceptively fast. Ran a 4.38 in the combine, and he's not small. I mean, that's what's crazy about it, is he can go up and catch a ball and outrun your whole defense. With the 26th pick, I have the Dolphins. They have already addressed a lot of their issues. They're in full rebuild. What they're going to do is go out and get the best value at the best valuable position, which is edge rusher, Clavon Chasen out of LSU. This dude is, I think he's a beast. He's fast, and he is going to help that Dolphins team become rejuvenated with life.
Exactly. That Dolphins defense really struggled last year. They were 31st against the run. The pass wasn't that good. They went out and got Byron Jones. They went out and got Kyle Van Noy. But the one position they haven't really addressed is pass rusher. Who's going to get after the quarterback? Who's going to put that pressure to put these defensive backs in a good position? I think Kayvon Chasen out of LSU is a great fit for this Miami Dolphins team. Now, for the 27th pick, I have the Seattle Seahawks on the board. What do the Seahawks love to do? They love to run the football. Brian Schottenheimer loves to get the ball down the throat of the defense, and I think you go and take Netane Muti, guard out of Fresno State. Muti is a power guard who a lot of people aren't talking about, but I think he's very physical, he's good in the trenches, and I think this is exactly somebody who would fit the Seattle Seahawks' physical downhill running scheme, and I think it's going to really help Chris Carson and Rashad Penny get going this season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Seahawks have got to really increase their running game because those running backs did not see enough yards, to be honest, last year. The Seahawks have got to get some pressure off of Russell Wilson, so that's a great pick. With the 28th pick, I got the Ravens taking Justin Jefferson, wide receiver out of LSU. The Ravens have got to get a number one receiver, and this is the guy. They need to let Lamar Jackson have a guy he can throw to anytime, in any situation, to really help him. Because Lamar Jackson has a good arm, but he just doesn't have that receiver that he can rely on. I think Justin Jefferson's that guy.
I agree. I think a lot of the times when they got down into the red zone and they were looking at passing situations, they were looking to their tight end, Mark Andrews. And I think you give him a guy outside who can go up and win one-on-one balls. You got Marquise Brown on the outside and Mark Andrews now. I think that Ravens offense might just improve off of last season. Speaking of good offenses that picked up late in the season, we have the Tennessee Titans, but I think they're going to address the defensive line here. I think they're going to go ahead and get Zach Bond, edge defender out of Wisconsin. Zach Bond played for a really great team, and I think he really helped Wisconsin's defense in the first half against Ohio State. Zach Bond is really solid. He doesn't get blown off his blocks easily. He has great hands. He has great mind. He's always in the right position. He's a good tackler. I think he's going to be a great fit for the Tennessee Titans and their defense.
Yeah, he was one of the cornerstones of one of the best defenses in the entire nation last year. So, I mean, I think that's a great pick, and the Titans have got to get some defensive line help after losing Jerome Casey. Now, with the 30th pick, I have the Packers taking Yetur Gross-Matos, edge rusher from Penn State. This dude is fast, and honestly, the Packers have got to figure it out on the front seven. They have got to be able to get to the quarterback, and I think this is the best guy left in the draft that you're going to get.
I 100% agree. I think Gross-Matos is a high motor player who doesn't take a snap off. I think that Packers need somebody who can really get after the quarterback, who can also fill up run lanes, as they allowed so many yards in the NFC Championship game. They need somebody who can help shut that down. I think Gross-Matos provides that help. Speaking of defensive line, the best defensive line in the NFL last year by far was the San Francisco 49ers. They are on the clock with the 31st overall pick. And I think after trade away DeForest Buckner, you're going to move Eric Armstead into the 3 technique. You have Dee Ford and Nick Bosa on the edge. That means you need a nose tackle for that front 4. I think they go out and they reach a little bit and they take Oklahoma defensive tackle Nevin Gallimore. Nevin Gallimore didn't show a lot of pass rush ability, but what he did show is that he was fantastic, earning Pro Football Focus's #1 college run defender. He was one of the best at doing his job. He is able just to plug gaps. He doesn't get pushed far downfield. He needs to show a little bit of a better pass rush, but if San Francisco 49ers can get just a solid nose tackle, I think it's going to allow Nick Bosa and Dee Ford to be one-on-one on the outside, and that is just not good for opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think the 49ers, they have the pass rush. They have to shut down the run at this point, and that defense is nails, and that the secondary is not getting much pressure at this point with that great pick. Now, with the 32nd pick and the last pick in the first round, the Chiefs are going to select Patrick Queen, linebacker, LSU. Now, the Chiefs are going to take one of the best linebackers in the draft, if not the best interior linebacker in the draft, because they are begging for it. The Chiefs' defense has to have a linebacker. That's basically their biggest need on their entire team, so they're going to address it with this pick.
I think what the Chiefs defense needs is a 3-down linebacker who can, come up and fill a hole, but he can also, get out and cover running backs, tight ends, and honestly, I think Patrick Queen might be able to cover some of these slower slot wide receivers in the NFL. He is a speedy guy who is just always around the ball. I think that's exactly what the Chiefs defense needs to get to another Super Bowl this year. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this mock draft. We put so much work into this. I know me and Hunter both can't thank everybody enough for all the love and support you guys have shown. Please be sure to show some more love and support by smashing that like button down below. Please subscribe so you don't miss a single episode going forward. And thank you guys. God bless.